Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today we got to talk about Brett Cooper, the rising star of the Daily Wire, being out at the Daily Wire, being replaced by her producer and the maid of honor at her wedding, and all of the weirdness that is surrounding this, including allegations, or as the super mayor likes to call them, alizations.
Off of hearsay. False allegations and not facts.
That Brett Cooper's replacement Reagan was actually given acting classes in order to sound exactly like Brett Cooper, so that all you dumb idiots out there in the audience will be fooled into thinking this is the same thing. Now, we're going to get into this. We're going to break this down. We're going to add in some of our own innuendos and conspiracy theories just for fun. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
So last week, it was circulating around the internet.com that Brett Cooper was going to be leaving the Daily Wire. It was alleged that she was having a disagreement with Jeremy Boring. People are speculating that that is related to the whole Candace Owens situation, and therefore, Brett Cooper was being ousted, was being silenced by the Daily Wire, and we should all be afraid of the Daily Wire because they are basically right-wing, conservative Inc. Disney Corporation in that they crush talent and they're just in it for the money or whatever. Now, originally, when this came out, many people were skeptical of this. Brett Cooper is somebody who essentially was brought up by the Daily Wire into stardom, then had to renegotiate her contract because she was just providing that much value for the Daily Wire. So a lot of people thought it would be weird that suddenly they would part ways with them. But when you examine her channel, it turns out that this Reagan lady, the one that is going to replace her on the comment section with Brett Cooper, is in fact filling in more and more leading up to this. And on December 10th, Brett Cooper herself ended up announcing that she was leaving the Daily Wire, and she says, don't worry about it, it's her own personal decision, and it has nothing to do with anything related to a dispute with Jeremy Boring.
Guys, some of you have heard the rumors online, and the rumors are mostly true. Today, December 10th, will be my last day hosting the comment section and working for the Daily Wire. It is not true that I am being forced out. It was my own choice to leave. And believe me, this is bittersweet. I have had the most unbelievable 3 years helping to craft the show, building this community, and telling stories and sharing the truth every day. Through the comment section, you all have made me braver, more articulate, more thoughtful, more hopeful than I could have ever imagined. And I'm grateful that we spent this time together. And I'm grateful that the Daily Wire gave us a platform to grow this community. But at this point in my life, I am ready to take on a new direction, both personally and professionally. This means new challenges and new endeavors, which I will share with you soon. As for this show, the comment section will continue with the Daily Wire. My producer, Reagan, is taking over as host of the comment section, and I wish her and the Daily Wire all the best.
Now, I do want to say a couple of things. First and foremost, it is kind of a little bit disrespectful for us to assume that Brett Cooper is being forced to say this, that she's being compelled by the Daily Wire in order to give this statement. But as of right now, we don't really know what she said in full. We know that her show is produced by a team, and weirdly, in her little goodbye video, all of a sudden, Jeremy Boring ends up coming in to that video rather than a separate one and says, we're so happy for Brett, she's a great talent, and all these different various nice things, but she will be going on to do something for herself, and we should all just appreciate the time we had with her, and Reagan is going to do a great job filling in that role.
We have had 3 great years, and I'm proud of what we've accomplished together. Leaving the show and the platforms that we've built is hard, but I'm very excited for what's to come. Knowing that we have brought so many people together in laughter over these last 3 years means the world to me. I appreciate all of you, so let's chat again soon. But in the meantime, go touch some grass, kick some rocks, and we'll catch up shortly. And now for some final thoughts from the God King himself, Jeremy Boring.
Bittersweet indeed. We're sad to see Brett go, but we're excited to see her take the next step in her journey. Brett's an amazing talent, both as a personality and as an actress. It's been a pleasure to see her bring the comment section to life these last 3 years, and her performance in the Pendragon cycle is sensational. I'm certain that whatever Brett creates next will be filled with the same joy and laughter and heart that she's brought to all of her work at the Daily Wire. And we wish her nothing but the best.
So, my friends, while I have you here, I thought we could run it back one last time.
Now, of course, this is very odd for a number of reasons. Obviously, the Daily Wire has built a brand around Brett Cooper. She wasn't somebody who already had a following before she got over there. Her value increased under their tutelage, so it would make sense that they would try to retain her. But it doesn't appear that this is a regular, ordinary contract dispute where Brett Cooper figured she could make more money elsewhere being independent without the big albatross that is, in fact, the Daily Wire. It seems like this is a sudden termination of her contract, so while I do want to believe her in what she's saying right there, she might be under contract to not say anything about the particulars of her departure. Also, she could have given reasons in this edited clip, and those could have been edited out at the discretion of the Daily Wire management team. But normally, what I would put this down to is the problem that you always have with retaining talent in digital media, and that is the talent can make more money on their own, and there's no reason for them to be working at a certain place. And by the way, if this were the case, it would be true of Brett Cooper, who has already started her own YouTube channel. Her own YouTube channel has over 100,000 subscribers. It will be linked in the description of this video if you want to subscribe, if you were a fan, and she hasn't even uploaded a single video. And this is where people kind of get these major overarching companies all wrong, in my opinion. Now look, I know, and I mean I know, a lot of people don't like the Daily Wire, but usually the reasons that people lay out for why they don't like the Daily Wire is something Ben Shapiro, something Conservative Inc., something, and honestly, I tend to not care. I'm not a huge fan of any of their shows. I don't watch them frequently or anything of the sort. It's just not my cup of tea. On top of that, I don't really have 45 minutes or an hour, however long an episode of any one of these people's shows every day to watch media that's going to be more aligned with me. I have to make videos for you guys, so I spend a lot of time watching left-wing stuff that I disagree with, so I just don't have that much time during the course of the day to consume Daily Wire content. But the fact of the matter is, the way that this typically works in this industry, and it's across all different media outlets, is that when you're on somebody else's platform, you're able to build up a brand for yourself, you're able to build up a connection with an audience for yourself that you get to take with you when you leave. So even though you're not getting paid the full value of your maximum popularity, the fact of the matter is, without the Daily Wire, without them finding and discovering and platforming Brett Cooper, she likely would not be the star of a channel with, I think, over 4 million YouTube subscribers, the biggest rising star at the Daily Wire, and maybe one of the only people at the Daily Wire that speaks to Gen Z. So Brett Cooper is going to be fine regardless of this. I'm sure she made decent money at the Daily Wire. She's about to go independent, which is indicated by her YouTube channel, and even though she doesn't own her previous content, that is the agreement that she made with that particular company. So I think it is perfectly reasonable for her to move on, take the money that she was paid for producing that content, and honestly, out of the two, I think Brett Cooper is going to be better for it. Now, over the course of time, over the course of years, the Daily Wire will build up another talent to the level, or maybe not quite to the level of Brett Cooper, but that is going to be a huge financial investment for them, while Brett Cooper gets to reap the benefits of that financial investment in her career going forward. And to be clear, she is a talented person. Obviously, she drives engagement. She's producing videos that get far more views than me, but more importantly, her videos seem to be outperforming other creators at the Daily Wire, and a lot of that is going to be able to be taken with her. And again, certain people are going to figure out that she started that YouTube channel on her own. She already has 100,000 subscribers, so it could be true that days after I released this particular video, Brett Cooper is over 1 million subscribers, or maybe at 2 million subscribers, because she will have posted a video and people are so fascinated by the controversy around her departure that they're going to want to be there for what she has to say, not to mention all the different various people who are going to want to be supportive of Brett Cooper. Now, that being said, there is a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of little mashups of her and this girl Reagan talking very similarly. I would not be surprised if the Daily Wire, which kind of has like an old school Hollywood mindset because they're trying to produce movies, actually did pay for acting lessons for her. Whether or not those acting lessons were specifically designed to make her sound like Brett Cooper, I will leave up to you guys out there in the audience. But I do want to say that there's a chance that they just hired the same acting coach because Brett Cooper was an actress in order to produce similar results, because that's what they want in terms of their online branding. So while it might be weird, while it might be odd, it could just be a coincidence that people are stretching. Hey guys, guys, editing Sean here. So as I'm editing this video and I'm grabbing clips from twitter.com in order to put it together for you so it looks all nice, I end up stumbling upon this post, which says that Brett Cooper actually posted a link to this decoy voice video, which talks a little bit more about the Reagan backstabbing Brett Cooper kind of narrative. So I'm going to link that video in the top of the description of this video. You should definitely check it out. I'm going to show you maybe one clip from it, but because Decoy Voice is a friend of the channel and his videos are significantly shorter, I don't want to do too much of that. So please watch it in full. It will be at the top of the description, probably in the pinned comment as well, because he deserves the views. And obviously, if Brett Cooper shared this and then deleted it later, it might be more indicative of him being right than anything else. So give the man credit because he put out the video, attached his name to it, and that ultimately ended up leading to some kind of confirmation, if you want to call it that.
Welcome back to the comment section. So obviously, I talk car brand into a whole new stratosphere of woke confusion. I'm concerned about feminism. I'm concerned about the growing gender divide. But before we get into today's episode, make sure you like this video. Before we dive into this episode, though, make sure that you like this video if you have not already. If you've not already.
Now look, it is weird, it is noticeable, it is unusual, but to be perfectly clear, to be perfectly fair to this Reagan chick, who I don't know at all, I've never seen anything from her, she is described as Brett Cooper's best friend, the maid of honor at Brett Cooper's wedding, so to me, it's not all that crazy for her to talk in a similar cadence to a girl that she's spending a ton of time with, again, both in work and outside of work, and it's also kind of unfair to assume that Brett Cooper was completely shafted, tossed out like garbage at the Daily Wire, and her best friend and her maid of honor just cynically stole this position from her after she was tossed out, and she's just such a terrible, horrible, evil person, and we should all condemn her for this crime that may or may not have actually been committed. Also, we don't know, even if Brett Cooper was tossed out at Daily Wire over some kind of disagreement, if she was fine with one of her friends, if it had to be anyone, taking that position, getting a good paying offer for that position. Again, we don't know all the information and all the facts as of right now, so it's kind of unfair to smear people we don't know based on the information that we are lacking. Hey guys, editing Sean here. Now, while I try to be even-handed and fair and say a maid of honor betraying the best friend, that is pretty unlikely. That's probably not what happened, and you're just a little bit too conspiratorial. I do want to point out that in my search for posts on twitter.com to insert as graphics here, this one caught my attention, which reportedly shows Brett Cooper's mother, who I don't know, so maybe it's not her, who knows, liking comments about Reagan betraying Brett Cooper, about this actually being a money deal, and about this maybe, just maybe, being what was originally reported, in that they were trying to replace Brett with Reagan over a contract dispute, and Brett Cooper can't speak up about it for herself. Now look, I can't verify independently that this is her mother's account. All I can tell you is that this account is actually one of the 988 accounts being followed by Brett Cooper, so that seems like it would be randomly weird that she would follow an account that is imitating her own mother, but let's read one of these comments so you could get an idea of what I'm talking about and the idea that they may be maybe some truth to the rumors. So again, this is the comment that is reportedly liked by Brett Cooper's mother. No matter how many acting classes you take, watch Brett's old videos. You will never be Brett. It's sad that you took money and snubbed your best friend. I hope the amount of money DW offered was worth your friendship with Brett. You lost a good one. Now again, this could be a poor copy of Brett Cooper's mother on social media, which would be kind of ironic because, you know, Reagan is kind of a poor copy of Brett Cooper on social media. So anything is possible. Who knows? I don't know. Just, you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, it could go either way. The mom could be totally out of step. She could maybe even not even talking to her daughter. Who knows? But, and these posts could be liked by an account that people are saying is her mother, but that could just be some other person who claims to be on her mom from the internet for some unknown reason. Very suspicious. Now, with all that being said, for those of you who are concerned about Brett Cooper, who are fans of her, I actually think she's going to be perfectly fine. What's going to ultimately end up happening is that her own operation will be a lower cost operation that she will be able to keep more of. And since she recently got married and likely is going to be starting a family soon, she's going to be able to engage with the internet on her own time rather than produce the quantity of content that typically Daily Wire creators are obligated to produce. In addition to that, I will also point out that the Daily Wire is going to be in the short term in a little pain because first and foremost, you have the controversy surrounding this, the rumors and speculations that are going to drive down subscriptions for them in the short term. But in addition to that, they're going to learn, if they don't know this already, that the reason people watch the comment section with Brett Cooper is not because of the comment section IP, it's because of Brett Cooper. It's the talent that drives the people there, and replacing talent on the internet is never easy to do. I mean, again, think about any higher production YouTube channel that ends up having talent leave them. What ends up happening? Jimmy Dore with the Young Turks. He finds a ton of financial success on his own, and the Young Turks have no equivalent star like Jimmy Dore. The same thing with Dave Rubin. Finds a bunch of success on his own, and there's no equivalent for the company. So essentially, the company spends a little bit of money comparatively to what they earn at their peak in order to bring this talent on board. They spend a lot of money marketing that talent, and eventually they become so successful. This is the hope, that the company makes a ton of money, but then they get to the point where they're so successful that guess what? You can't even afford them as the company. This is the same thing that we saw with Tomi Lahren and all these different other various people who have moved their way, built themselves up, and eventually ended up leaving for bigger and better things for them personally. Now, that being said, I do love me some conspiracy theorizing, so let me know your craziest theory of how Brett Cooper was ousted at the Daily Wire down in the comments below. Also, let me know if you think that she's actually a clone of Ben Shapiro, altered to be a woman because of the way that she looked in that Snow White trailer thing from the Daily Wire. Again, all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you liked the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about Brett Cooper leaving the Daily Wire or getting fired. Till next time.